I already know what you're thinking because I've thought of it too, but listen, okay? Just listen to me. Hi, you're watching Flick Cartina, my YouTube channel where I talk about movies and things relating to movies. Most of my videos are about aspects of movies that people may or may not understand as well. Today's subject is Jane Foster, and Jane Foster is not the strongest Marvel character ever. She really wasn't written well, and that showed in both of the Thor movies that she was in. But after I rewatched Thor and Thor the Dark World, I started thinking about her character just a little bit more. And she's not actually that bad. And the title of this video is that Jane Foster is a feminist icon, and that statement is very strong. So let's go over a couple of things that why she is a feminist icon. Now, I was researching feminism, and the definition of a feminist icon is extremely vague. But what I was going off of is what movies look like in just general terms of how they show women on screen and how they display their personalities, if there is any, and their physical features and stuff like that. So the first thing that normally people notice a lot with feminism and females in the movie industry is their physical appearance. So Jane Foster is played by Natalie Portman, who has some very interesting roles that she's played in the past. She's mostly known for her work in Thor and then also in the Star Wars prequel trilogy. First, I'm going to talk about clothing. If you watch movies, not saying the black and white film era, film noir and stuff like that, but if you watch like early 2000s and 90s movies, women aren't really shown with very much clothing on. And if they are, it's with a very fitting dress or pencil skirt or something like that. And yes, that's the fashion of the time and what was attractive to people in that period of years, but it's still very revealing clothing and very objectifying appearance for the women that were involved and shown on screen. But Jane Foster wears modest clothing for the majority of the movie. The only time that she's shown in any sort of objectifying light is when she's wearing pajamas in her RV. And even then, if you look at the costume that she's wearing, normally when women are shown with their night clothes on, it's not in a t-shirt and shorts. She's wearing a lot of layers, and even in Thor the Dark World, she wears a lot of layers there, and it's just like a scarf upon a scarf. And then in Thor the Dark World, she's on a date with somebody, and she's not wearing like extremely revealing clothing or anything like that. She's just wearing like a dress. Obviously, Natalie Portman is an attractive woman. We're not saying that she's not, but she's wearing modest clothing that doesn't really reveal parts of her body that most people would consider to be very attractive and revealed in movies. Another thing, other than the costumes and the wardrobe that they put the actresses in, is the angles that the cinematographer or director of photography will show the women in. In film noir, women were always shown with soft lighting. It was never an option. It was always soft lighting, like Grace Kelly, all of that kind of thing. That style of cinematography was always put on the women. Like, the entire lighting setup would change because the woman was on screen. And then in Hollywood right now, women are shown in more revealing angles. Say, for instance, if there's a close-up, it'll be a very attractive close-up of somebody, and if there's a scene where somebody falls down on top of the other person, it's just, there's a certain amount of an angle that will be shown. But most of the angle she's put in is not in a sexualized position. The last thing I was thinking about that is a very important part of filmmaking is her makeup. The makeup artist who does things will usually follow the looks of what the director wants, and the makeup artist for this movie didn't put Jane Foster in this very gaudy makeup, and it's not heavy. Her makeup doesn't really draw your eye. It's just very simple makeup that a scientist would do. Let's compare a little bit of the physical appearance and the visual showing of Jane Foster versus Black Widow. Same universe, same strain of movies. They were both introduced around the same time, but just the difference in how they're shown is and what they're wearing is just very drastic and different. Let's take a look at a couple of the scenes.
I think that was legally your fault. Get the first aid kit.
Do me a favor and don't be dead. Please.
Whoa, does he need CPR? Because I totally know CPR.
did he come from?
Let me put you on hold.
So if you look at this scene, Black Widow obviously is in a compromising situation, and she's a spy, and part of the appeal of this situation was her attractiveness as a woman, but we have no pretext for what actually led up to this moment where she's getting interrogated. And so this introduction scene versus Jane's introduction scene is extremely different in how they're shown, what they're wearing, exactly what I was talking about. So when women are shown on screen, it's not only with physical appearance, it's also with their personality and intelligence. With Jane Foster, she's an astrophysicist, I'm pretty sure.
What you seek, it's a bridge.
Like a Nightstand Rosen bridge?
More like a rainbow bridge.
And she was fully in charge of her own knowledge. You see scenes where she's talking about the science behind the galaxies and what Thor is explaining to her in Norse mythology, and she's translating that into scientific language. And it's not like she's showing off, it's just the way that she's saying it is that she's not showing off, but she's actually just thinking it through and factually processing all of this information that she's getting from Thor. Again, she's in charge of her own knowledge and she owns that knowledge. She doesn't need to prove anything that she's a smart person. She's already a smart person and she knows that, but she doesn't need to prove that she is. And a part of what comes on with her intelligence and why she's not exactly a very strong character in the MCU is because of her scatterbrained personality. At least that's what I got from both of the movies that she's been in so far. But Jane Foster is not like this super powerful, intelligent woman. She's intelligent, yes, but she's not powerful in the sense that she needs to step on everybody underneath her. No, she's just a very scatterbrained, absent-minded professor sort of character, and that's just what kind of goes along with the idea that she's not as strong as a character in the MCU. And those are the two things that I really think are important in portraying a female character on screen and in movies, in film, even in television. What I wanted to talk about is just how women are shown on screen and how Jane Foster is actually shown in a very appealing way that doesn't really over-sexualize or objectify her as a person. She might not be the strongest character, but she is a strong, independent woman. Compared with other female superheroes, Jane is not as powerful. However, she is somebody who can be considered as a feminist icon in the MCU. If you guys have any questions for me, let me know in the comments down below. What do you think I should be doing next? What videos do you think I could be doing? What are you guys looking for at my channel? I really want to know. Let me know in the comments down below. If you have a video idea that you would like me to do, I would totally be on board with that if you would leave that in the comments down below. If you also follow me on social media, you'll see some deeper insights into how my creative process is. I just posted pictures a couple weeks ago about just how I map out movies, how I do my own thumbnails and work through all of that. And I try to keep up with movie news on Twitter. But if you really want to see what I'm watching at this moment, you can follow my letterbox. Every time that I watch a movie, I log it into the letterbox and then you can see what I thought about the movie if I left a review, or like just what kind of content I'm watching at the moment. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great random Thursday. I will see you on the other side of the screen.